Hey everyone, welcome to another entry in the Hyrule Compendium, and we're continuing our conversation about the alleged Link's Reawakening game, this theoretical game. We're fantasy booking it. Today we're talking about what characters we'd like to see appear in this game.
Right, so like right away I make the comparison to A Link Between Worlds, like to A Link to the Past, because the majority of the characters in A Link Between Worlds were brand new, but they did have a lot of like returning or sort of like reimagining of some of the characters.
Sure.
Like Saharas
And they even had like like Gully, was that his name? He had like a little story where he gets lost in the area where like the flute boy was, right?
Right, yeah.
So like even these small references, like you can kind of connect the dots.
Right, yeah. And then like the syrup, the witch.
Yeah.
Was it syrup? I think it was syrup, yeah.
Yeah,
Or was
yeah.
it maple? I don't know. I always like how they're maple and syrup, the two witches in the Zelda series. Did you not know that?
I knew it, I just didn't really even think about it.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
So, that being said, I think if they revisited Link's Awakening, I think something very similar like that would be important. Now, keep in mind, it doesn't have to make sense from a time perspective because Link's Awakening is a dream.
Yeah.
So it could say it's 100 years later, 1,000 years later, whatever. This is a new incarnation of Link going to Koholint Island. Like, they could do all the same characters, just have them give different like stories or whatnot. There's a few oddball characters. I would totally want there to be an animal village with talking animals.
Yeah.
Not that many of them were over, like, there's like the bear part of the trading sequence, and
He was pretty memorable, but he also had some like there was just some like generic bunnies or whatever, but yeah, they're cool.
There was the goat, Christine, who was like exchanging love letters with Mr. Right, and he sends her the picture of, I think it's like Princess Peach or something. I liked the like quirkiness of some of the characters in Link's Awakening, and I think it'd be cool, especially the talking animals, because that just opens up the imagination to anything.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope we see those guys again.
Yeah, I'm still on that train of like, wanting it to distance itself a little bit, but I would like to see some like references, to characters. But like, I feel like it would almost cheapen Link's Awakening a little bit if it's like, you had that ending with Marin, and now, hi, I'm a new Marin. Even if it's a dream world, it's like, let's leave that character in that game almost.
So no Marin.
But if you want to have a character that, we're like, that reminds me of Marin, like I'm okay with that, but I'm in the, let's keep the story in its own world.
Yeah. I mean, Marin in of herself is kind of basically the Princess Zelda of this game.
Yeah.
Because even Link mistakes her for Princess Zelda at the very beginning.
I feel like Zelda is not going to be in this game.
Out.
Ganon.
No Zelda in the next Zelda game.
No Zelda in Zelda. Another thing that really sets apart Link's Awakening from the rest of the series is it's one of the few games where those two major characters of Zelda and Ganon aren't there. So
Zelda has been in almost every game.
Yeah.
Ganon has missed on a lot of games.
Yeah. But even at that time, he had appeared in every game up until that point in some form. So to me, they're out. But yeah, and then also like, it would be cool to meet, another bear chef or like that. But some of these major characters, I feel like I like the specialness of them, and let's tread away from them.
Okay.
Now there are some who I think could be interesting to see a version of them. Like that I actually think it would be really cool is if you had like an owl companion show up, because he's kind of, that character is such a mystery. Like, we don't know anything about him. He just kind of shows up, tells you where to go.
He has his beaks in the dungeons.
Yeah, that would be cool to see the stone beak return, of course. But I could see that because that character has so much like mystery surrounding it, and I'm sure there's a ton of Zelda theories out there about who he is.
Right, yeah.
So it would be cool to see a character like that come in, and then you could have even more theories of people being like, is that what connects these games? Like, you have a mysterious connection to the previous game, not just straight up like, we're back in the dream world.
Yeah, right. So one thing they did in A Link Between Worlds that I really liked is, the character, the Mai Mai's?
Yeah.
The Mother Mai Mai in particular. Yeah. Mother Mai Mai, if you look carefully, There's a character in A Link to the Past. It's just like the squid, the storytelling guy.
Yeah.
In the Dark World, and they used his exact sprite. 3DS-ized it.
Yeah.
And they made that a character in Mother Mai Mai and made a total like quest out of this that has nothing to do with the character from A Link to the Past. I think it'd be cool if they did something like that with some of the characters from
Absolutely. Like I totally that's exactly what I would mean. Is like totally different context, Let's not repeat the same story here.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of like characters, they're just really quirky characters. There's like the photographer who's a mouse. Maybe they make a big mouse or something, and it's like.
I also like how it can take like a smaller character and make him a big focus, and then you could also take something that was a bigger deal in the game and make it like a fun Easter egg almost.
Yeah,
you could like mix it up a little bit.
It's kind of like with Ocarina and Majora as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Link to the Past kind of did that with A Link Between Worlds to a lesser extent.
Speaking of Majora, you did mention like all of the characters they created for A Link Between Worlds. Like if they're using the same engine, they could use characters that were in that. Goalie could show up, but it's not Goalie. You know what I mean? Kind of like
Brian.
It's Brian. That's his name now for sure.
I mean, they did that with Majora's Mask because of the strict time period they were trying to get the game out in. I mean, this one, I don't think time is a big issue here.
I know that's the constraint for it, but that constraint made almost something cool out of it. And if it is a thing where this is a follow-up, that was kind of an awesome part of Majora's Mask, was the same Link is like seeing people who look like people he's met. That goes along with like confusing Marin for Zelda too,
Right.
You could use, Zelda's model almost and just dress it in normal clothes and be like, yeah, new character,
So the last character I have is, we talked about this in one of our previous videos, what Breath of the Wild characters we want to see return.
Oh, sure.
And I said Hestu.
Yeah.
Because Hestu's so quirky, and that does not fit the Link's Awakening world at all, but it's like, it doesn't really matter. They can make it fit.
They can do whatever.
Yeah, sort of like how characters from Majora's Mask, in particular, suddenly appeared in Oracle of Ages. It's like, oh, why is Tingle in this game? Why is the Happy Mask Salesman in this game?
Yeah.
It was just kind of cool to see them like in a 2D environment. I think they could do that with, especially if it's like a dream sequence kind of world.
Yeah, I could see like Hestu or Kilton or even like you could have Perla or something. Okay. But she doesn't have to be her. This is like the Malon to Marin type thing where it's like very reminiscent of them. Yeah. Sure, I'm totally into that. Of course, the big one saving it for the last is I'd like to see that shopkeeper come back.
Okay.
And that should be exactly the same.
No difference.
No difference. He murders you.
Yeah.
You should be able to steal. I would love to see him in a...
But you want him as a shopkeeper, like murdering people.
Or just make him a boss of a dungeon. Can
you imagine they have a funny Easter egg where he's a shopkeeper and you like walk into the shop for the first time and it plays a little cutscene of him like cleaning up something in the distance, and it's like, it's implying, oh, I had to take care of an old customer. He was trying to steal from me.
You see like a shoe laying there. Oh boy. So yeah, those are, I guess that's our dream casting, if we could, of this supposed game that may or may not be a thing. Let us know in the comments who you'd like to see come back. Any Breath of the Wild characters? You want to see Sidon come back or something like that? Join our Discord if you want to keep talking about Zelda with us. Subscribe, like, notification bell. There are so many things you need to do. Thanks for watching, guys.